One of the guys that get a lot of credit is Steve Blackman from Muscular development. I mean, those guys have done an extraordinary job for years and years and years to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote strength, to promote bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, and all of those kind of things. So the contributions they made is gigantic, and I hail them for that.
You and I have been on this road many, many years now, and for the past 7 years, it's been the same outcome. You and me, center circle, after you given the big speech and all that jazz, and you're looking to make some history here with number 8. Very unfamiliar ground, obviously, as everybody knows, of 2 people that got that title. Actually, we got both of those guys here today. But you were going to be that third guy, the elusive third man, grassy knoll, the whole thing, Phil. But it didn't happen. And you're used to my voice coming out there and doing that big dramatic pause that you hate before the big announcement.
I think everyone hates it. There's been so many people that have probably lost years off their life, especially the athletes. Every year that he would be up there, Bob has the sheet, obviously. He knows who's winning. And he takes the, it feels like a 5-minute pause.
Oh, it is.
So, and then we talk on tour every year, and I'm like, can you please stop doing this crap? And he's like, come on, man, it's a suspense and this and that. You know, I'm like, but I'm hungry. I got stuff to do. Let's get it on. So, go ahead.
Well, needless to say, I painstakingly draw out every year. For 7 years, I've drawn out even longer just for you. Don't think me up. But this year, there was that long pause, and all of a sudden, it wasn't your name, bro. I've never experienced this, actually, in your career. What did that moment feel like?
Okay, so I have a question for everyone in here, and I would really like for you guys to participate. Do you guys want me to answer this question as Mr. Olympia or Phil Heath? Okay, so
Overwhelming Phil Heath.
Okay, so there is no politically correctness, so if you guys are out here on social media and stuff and doing all this craziness, I'm giving it to you straight. Throughout the years of being up here on the Mr. Olympia stage, winning shows, it's an incredible feeling. Your life flashes before your eyes. Every line in the road, kind of like from this high to this high, led to that moment. So, the first was always the best one. The second one, then, the third, and then things started shifting a little bit. You start questioning yourself. You start asking yourself, I got fan base, I got this, some people are tired of seeing me win, and this and that. Now you're getting the whole Tom Brady, like, I hate Phil, but I love Phil. They're laughing because they know it's true.
That's what I hate you.
Right? And then they say, wait, man, I really like what you do, but I just want to see this guy get it too, because I see how much fun you're having. So I remember winning number 6, and I remember being like, wow, now I'm starting that uncharted territory, and we're talking about legend, right? From Yates. Then that 7th, it's like, we were going on classic, right? Winning that 7th one meant a lot, because I remember seeing Arnold that year, and he came by the booth, and I looked at the eye and said, it would be an honor to be able to win that contest. I was tied with something, because he's an epitome of greatness. I mean, he's done a lot of things, obviously we all know. But going into 18, it's just like a lot of pressure, a lot of this and that. So when we're up on that stage, you kind of had a feeling like something was different. The air was different, everything felt different. And when I was standing there, I thought, it's time to embrace whatever happens. What I mean by that is, when he said, and knew, as much as that hurt, I knew it was coming, and I felt like, okay, there might be a shift. Just take a moment and look around. So I did. And that crowd erupted and stuff like that. And it wasn't like I was taking it personal as far as like I thought I would. I thought I would be like, man, these guys hate me. That's why they're cheering for him. At the end of the day, I mean, those same people that cheered for him voted for Bruley as the people's champion. So they were just happy. So I said, at the end of the day, I've always said on the Olympic stage, you don't have to be a fan of me, but be a fan of bodybuilding. So the people were fans of bodybuilding that night. So I looked around and I was like, get a real good view of this. And I did. And before I walked off, you know, I didn't know what to do because, like you said, this is uncharted territory. I don't know what a second place person does after they lost something like that. Where do I go? Who I shake hands with?
Tough problem to have, isn't it?
But this,
I don't know what these losers do. I've never been in this situation.
I'm like, a silver necklace, like, don't really like that, but okay.
Breaking up the set, man.
Right? But one major thing. You know, you see a lot of athletes, you see a lot of celebrities and stuff, right? You know, they thank God, higher power, this and that, and things went well. So I took a moment, went to the side, got on one knee, and I did my own timeout. Because I remember wishing that I would be not only on the Olympic stage, but wishing that I could be NPC USA champion, wishing that I could win a Colorado State show, wishing that someone would even give me the chance to be sponsored, and then end up on the covers of Flex Magazine and Muscular Development and all this stuff, traveling around the world meeting a ton of people. I never would have thought of that in 2003 when I did my first NPC show. So I took that time and said, well, maybe this is my time to leave, I don't know, but you're gonna absorb what's going on. And thank yourself and thank your body for what you've been able to accomplish, because no one in the right mind can take 7 sand down. So then I walked off, and you know, the rest is kind of a blur. It's still, you know, it's kind of like one of those things like, you know, how do you address this? But I will say this: I love bodybuilding. It hasn't changed. I'm in the gym, working hard, having fun, and I'm very honored and privileged to be up here today. Because I believe this is the first time I've ever done something like this on a Sunday in my class. So, you know, that was the answer, long-winded answer for what Bob's saying. But yeah, I mean, it felt weird. It still is weird, but that's part of history. You know, it ain't always going to go your way. But I can say one thing: in this decade, I'm the most winningest guy around, and no one can take that away. And I have to acknowledge that to myself. I have to thank my body every day for being able to put up with all that stress. And I will give myself that much of a pat of saying, I'm the first Mr. Olympia in the social media era. And that, my friends, is a very stressful job. Very stressful job. Because it still allows me to kind of be that pioneer for the next group that now will have to deal with the same cheers and boos and this and that and the other. And then you realize, in all, you guys just want entertainment. You want to see the best out of us. And I can appreciate that, and it's my job to continue to push myself and all the other athletes to go after their dreams, kick some butt, and say thank you to all the people that support us.
Phil, appreciate that. I think that was appreciated by the fans that were in attendance, that you conducted yourself like a professional. Of course, there was no theatrics, there was no games. It was just you taking a moment to reflect. And you gave props, fully at our seminar the next day to Sean Roden. That said, Phil, appreciate you coming out. This is great to have you here finally. I'm going to introduce another guy. Now, this is the guy you actually took the title from. All right. Also happens to be a very good friend of yours. Ladies and gentlemen, 4-time Olympian champ, a cut above, Cutler. What's up, champ? How are you doing? We're doing good. You know this guy? You ever met Bill? Jay, Bill? Jay, I mean, you're a regular here every year. The fans love it. They love when you come out here. You're still in as much demand now as you ever were when you were the reigning and current Mr. Olympia. So how is it traveling the globe now and still see these lines of fans coming up to see you?
It's my 24th year. And I was champion here a few times. I was blessed to be able to do that. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. It's too honored to be here and be part of this actually on Sunday with all this talent that's up here. We appreciate everyone coming out every year because I know a lot of people travel for long distance and wait in many long lines. And it's a huge opportunity. The expo is a tremendous thing. Like when bodybuilding shows were just bodybuilding shows without extras. And now you can interact with all of us, and it's just really cool that, you know, people take the time to do that. And I don't think I made 20 minutes of line. So it's really awesome when people wait for hours on it to see us and be able to tell us their stories and tell us why they're here. I hear that every time I do it. So we're just blessed to be part of that.
Jay, we've done many, many interviews over the years. You had a kind of a different rise to the top. You know, most people kind of burst on the scene like Heath, and just boom, he was in the winner's circle. Stayed there for a Coleman a lot of years. You actually built your fan base by losing the Olympia every year. And every year. He knows what I mean by that. I think this is hardcore, man. And Jay knows what I mean by that, because we've talked about this many times. But I mean, listen, you had the great Ronnie Coleman in front of you, man.
That was
Yeah, that was the missing. I left that out to the end. That was the big finish. Ronnie Coleman was there, and everybody knows Ronnie, man. His name, he just couldn't beat this guy. You know, nobody could beat this guy. But you built your fan base every single year by being the runner-up, and your fan base just built and built and built. Until you eventually beat the great Ronnie Coleman, and you got that title.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a challenge when we get up there and compete. And I always truly went to every contest like I was going to win. And you know, unfortunately, there was a big roadblock there, and I was fortunate to be number 2 in the world for, you know, unfortunately 4 times the same guy. So for me, it was just it was always an experience, and I just felt honored to be able to be on that stage from day one. I mean, I was second to last in my first Mr. Olympia, 15 out of 16. Slowly moved way up, and it just took me a little longer to get to that first place title. Of course, I held it for 2 years, and I lost it, and he got me won it. And you know, I was left my feet in history now. I still continue to do that, and I respect all the athletes up there. And there's always opportunity for all of us. And I think it's any day anyone can win any show. Just like last night we saw on this stage, and Brandon was victorious, but I mean, your predictions, there's 4 or 5 guys that really won that title. You know, Phil's 1-7. I mean, he's kind of written himself in history, and you know, I expected that from him, which is great. But you know, with Ronnie, you know, both Phil and I talked about those days, and you know, we respected him so much, and it was always an obstacle, but it was great to overcome that and eventually be, you know, winning 4 times.
Jay, a lot of the ex-champs, former champs, however you want to put it, they kind of reinvent themselves. They get out there, you know, like work in different ways within the community. You're still really out there as Mr. Olympia. I mean, people still come up and they, you know, you're still Jay. You still, you know, look like you can step on stage with just a little bit of training, and you keep yourself in great condition. Even though you do have many business ventures outside of bodybuilding and within it, you're still kind of looked at as the Olympia champion. And I think that's pretty cool that you've been retired now. 5 years. Yeah, it's been 5 years. And I think it's pretty cool that you're out there still. And you're still a champion
or something.
You know what I love? I love the business. I love fitness. You know, my passion was obviously lifting weights and being a bodybuilder since day one. I started at 18. And I never imagined coming from a small town that I would ever end up where I'm at now in Las Vegas and being able to travel the world. I became the ambassador, and I continue to just do what I love to do, and I want to motivate people, and I think a lot of social media now is very positive, so we can communicate a lot easier with fans, and we're not just living in bodybuilding books that display our talents, right? So it's truly an honor. I mean, like I said, it's our job, it's our duty. It's what we did. We did it at the highest level. People would look at us as role models, which is unexpected when we first started training. I just wanted to be a guy that my first muscle fitness that was just like, that was it for me. And then eventually become the best and be able to now motivate everyone. This is this real quality because it's awesome.
Jay, you just kind of caught the social media as it was coming up, and now you're a master of it. You're all over the social media. Phil kind of came right into it, and he also was very active on it. I just started on MySpace last week, so I'm still catching up a little bit, but I'll get there. But Jay, I'm so glad to be able to came out, and we're going to get more Mr. Olympia champs. I'm going to make a hand for the champ. This next man needs no introduction. He's simply the greatest of all time, in-time Olympia champion. Geez, you want to sit around here? You good or? Yeah, so. You got chairs and everything. You spare no expense here, Arnold. Not a young man. Still 55 years old. Don't look a day over 54, buddy.
Actually, I'm 54.
So I was right. Champ, it's great to see you once again. Obviously, we see the walkers, you've been on the wheelchair. It has been tumultuous, to say the least. Actually, I was just here last year, and you were going under another surgery to correct the surgery before that. Now you've had two since then.
I've had 4 surgeries since last year, so I just had one 5 weeks ago, so just call me the surgery king.
Yeah, you got that down, man. You'll be the 8-time surgery king. Actually, you're over 8.
Right around 12 right now.
Well, nice thing is you can't knock good champs down. Right? You still got size. We were just talking a little while ago. You haven't been in the gym in months.
About 6 months now. So I'm still hanging in there though.
How about this guy looking like this? He hasn't been in the gym in 6 months, but
6 whole months. It's a long
it sure is.
almost a lifetime.
Well, the cool thing is, Ronnie, is it hasn't stopped. You're traveling, and you've got your own supplement. The Ronnie Coleman Signature Series, which is doing very well. But you don't let the surgeries stop you. Much like Jay, you're an ambassador of bodybuilding, and you regularly still do travel. I don't think anybody's expecting you to do, but you do it.
Well, when you got 8 kids, wife, and other people depending on you, you find a way to get things done.
That's better than having 8 wives and a kid. That's for sure. Yeah. That's a whole different subject. Yeah, they keep you busy, that's for sure. Ronnie, one of the things I think that's pretty cool over the years, we've had many chances to talk about this. You ushered in, single-handedly, you ushered in a whole era of people in the gym shouting stuff out. There ain't a gym I ever go to, and you guys do the same, you travel, train all over the world, and you'll just be in the gym in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden you'll hear, lightweight! Ronnie? I know he travels a lot, but all your little, mannerisms and things, and you have buddies and all that stuff, and literally you see people in the gym doing this all the time, and I think it's pretty cool. You actually carry that over to your product line, so you actually have a product called Yeah Buddy.
Ain't no but peanut.
Nothing but a peanut. You had some conversation when you were a kid, right? Coming to mind. Hey, can you grab me the lightweight and the ain't nothing but a peanut? What? It's the Ronnie Coleman stuff. But I think it's cool how you kind of took that and branded all that stuff with shirts, stuff you can buy, and obviously now your signature series. It's kind of pretty good. You ever at gyms and stuff like that? You hear somebody, they don't know you're there, and you hear some of your own sayings out there?
Every now and then. I'm all over the world. Most of the time when I'm in the gym, I'm kind of focused, and because I got on headphones, I'm listening to music. I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing.
This is, Ronnie's got some great stories, and we're going to get to some more actually once we get all the champs off, but you started your bodybuilding journey for one specific reason, Ronnie. What was that?
Well, the guy told me to give me a free membership to the gym.
That's a true story. Brian Dobson, who later became your good friend and mentor, bodybuilding, man, really single-handedly responsible for getting you to the stage, because you just trained. I mean, you didn't have any aspirations of being, you didn't come up in the business, you didn't aspire to be a bodybuilder. You literally he said, look at man, if you go into a show, I'll give you a free membership.
At the time I had just joined the police department, and I totally focused on being a police officer. I got my degree in accounting, as some people know, and I thought I was going to be an accountant because I graduated with honors and real good at it. I loved it. But God had another plan for me. And I walked in the gym one day, and the guy's like, man, you're big, you are big. I'm like, no. It's like, what? He said, you could be Mr. Olympia one day, world champion. I'm like, I don't know too much about Mr. Olympia world champion, but I just got hired on the police department, and that's all I'm interested in doing right now. Well, after 4 days of trying to get me to beat, he finally came out and said, I tell you what, I give you a free membership to the gym if you competed in this show coming up. I'm like, dude, you should have led with that first.
You had me at the saving $30.
Yeah, time out before. So, he gave me a free membership, top mountain pose, top mountain track, bodybuilder. My first show was called Mr. Texas. I was one of the first to go. The rest is pretty much history.
Now, speaking of history, Ronnie, obviously, as everybody knows, you took 8 Olympia handouts. There's probably around your mantle at home. If you were to take the 8 Ronnie Colemans that won an Olympia, okay? So all 8 of them, put them out, every version, from 98 right to the last win. Who wins?
98.
Really?
98 wins every time.
That's an interesting call because, well, Jake, you know really well. This guy had a whole bunch of different looks on the stage. 98 was a great look, obviously. It was probably your leanest. You were what, probably 245 or somewhere in that range. But then we saw the bigger Ronnie version a couple years later. You were about 290 pounds. What was that? 06? No, it was actually earlier. 04. 04, we saw the oh my God, it's coming this way, Ronnie. And a lot of people like that, man. I mean, the competitors did, but it was a different one. It wasn't a bad one. Obviously, you won the Olympics, but it's interesting. You didn't even hesitate. 98. That's your favorite.
98. All time. Easily all time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The fact that you could actually pinpoint that quickly. Without hesitation, because like I said, there's some damn good versions of it around, obviously, throughout the years. Actually, a lot of people had 99. Actually, you were on this very stage, winning the Arnold, and a lot of people think that might have been the best one.
That was a good look too, but 98 is still my favorite.
All right. Ronnie, it's great that you were able to make the trek out here. Like I said, I know it's not easy getting around, but you never let the fans down.
Oh no, wouldn't miss this for the world.
We appreciate that. He's still pissed off at you for that last show. All right, I'm looking in the wings and I'm seeing an 8-time Olympia champion. A lot of people think he's the greatest of all time. Totally awesome, Lee Haney. What's up, Lee?
Thanks, too. How's everybody doing?
These guys all came up with the sport. Looking at you on the Olympia stage as the winner. Everybody's idolized you. You've always been the consummate professional, consummate champion, gentleman lead. We've heard all the accolades over the years. Talk to me a little bit about Olympia championships back then versus now. And you've seen, and you're still very active in the sport. I mean, you all the current champions follow the sport. Talk to me about your reign as Mr. Olympia versus what you see today.
Well, number one, I'm glad I didn't have to beat either of those guys. I just ought to be on stage with them, I love each and every one of them. And I'm amazed at where bodybuilding is now. The stage is such that everybody got room. Bodybuilding, they got classic physique, they got physique. So it's something for everybody, no matter what they look at. In my day, it was only 4 champions, 4 pros a year. Only 4 pros. The first had to qualify maybe a national event, a regional event, Atlantic USA. From there I qualified for the junior nationals. From there I qualified for the nationals. From there I was qualified for the IFBB World Championship. And only when you won your class in IFBB World Championship did you turn pro. 4 pros a year, lightweight, middleweight, light heavy, and heavyweight. So to see what bodybuilding has come from then to now is absolutely incredible. And just look how the sport has grown over the years. Here at Arnold Classic, I never will forget as a youngster, I know this hard to believe, guys. Yeah, I used to be a youngster. Watching Arnold walk down the aisle, you know, I was 20 years old. And it was, I think at the time, it was Franco Columbu and his Lincoln that year. But that was back in 1980.
81.
Yeah, 81. Absolutely incredible. Now you see that this event has over 80 sports and over 200,000 people around the world right here in Columbus, Ohio. That's incredible. That says a lot about bodybuilding and where it is today. Now, as far as what I feel is going on in sport right now, everything is positive. I've seen growth all over the place. And as I said earlier, there's room for everybody. That's what I love.
Lee, you retired, what today, and a lot of people aren't even control until they were older than when you retired. You were still a young man when you hung up with 8 Olympic titles. You walked away. I mean, obviously you're healthy, you're still going. A lot of people speculate you could have won another 1 or 2 or 3. What at that point popped into your head and said, you know what, maybe it's a good time to walk away?
Well, you know, I look at it like this. As I approach the 8th Olympic, back up a little bit, when I hit the 7th, you know, nobody had ever done 7 in a row. And I never will forget having a conversation with my wife, Shirley, which has been my gift for over 36 years now, my beautiful wife, Shirley. And we had a conversation, and, you know, you have to understand, Shirley was my 7th grade sweetheart. So she known me when I had nothing.
Like aside from the women.
That's right. And so we're having this conversation. I mean, I was the vice president of the sports club in high school. Shirley was the president. So she is a stone jock. Stone jock. She wasn't one of those little prissy things, although she was cute, but she was an athlete. And we're having this conversation. I said, well, baby, you know, I've done 7 Olympiads, and nobody's ever done that. You know, that's a record in itself. Do you think it's time for me to sort of bow down and to, you know, move away? She looks at me and said, what are you talking about? Have you lost your mind? Of course you got to do 7 Olympics. What's the matter with you anyway? And that's what my wife said.
Still a president.
Still a president. And so,
Still VP.
Exactly. So I licked my wound. I said, okay, let's do this again. But having won the 8th Olympiad, I said, okay, now it's time to use my faith to establish my success in other areas. You know, you can't stay too long. Then, of course, I didn't have no more room over my fireplace. I only had enough room for 8. So I took that as a sign.
A bigger fireplace.
Hey, listen, man. When you train on the level of prepping for Mr. Olympia, and all of my brothers here can attest to that, your body goes through some crazy changes. And I have people say, well, Lee, you're talking about coming back? No. During that conversation with me, Lee, well, why not have another one? I said, leave me alone, I'm going to fidget. I lost my mind.
This is a lot easier.
A lot easier. It's traumatizing to the body. You know, any athlete on the top level like that, at the end of the day, they still lick their wounds. All of the fans never see that.
Did you contemplate 9?
No.
Or was that like, okay, I'm doing 8, win or lose?
That was the end of the conversation. 8 was it. And after I'd done 8, I walked out with my head high. I was undefeated. I had a confidence in what I wanted to do. It was time to use my faith in other areas. I had 2 kids that I needed to raise. You know, I had to be able to turn into a baseball dad. You know, a cheerleader for my daughter. You know, going back and forth with ballet, tap, dance, piano recital. Hey man, it was another whole world. But I enjoy it.
You've added another title to your impressive resume as grandfather now.
Your grandfather, I'm changing diapers now.
Slide that sand out for some pampers out there.
That's right.
Well, Lee, we talked about Jay earlier and how he's still out there being the ambassador and all that. I think you were the original ambassador, as it comes to mind. We had lots of champions. But not every champion is an ambassador. I think there's a distinct difference between that. And you were, in my opinion, like the first ambassador, passed on, obviously, but you were the first ambassador to kind of go out there and preach the good word of bodybuilding. And it was literally like a sermon. I mean, you talk about you love bodybuilding, you still love bodybuilding these days.
You know something, there's, let me say this. When I was 17 years old, I got on my knees one night before going to bed and I prayed and I said, Lord, if you see fit to make me the best at this sport I love so much, I'll go before the world and give you the praise and the glory. That was my prayer when I was 17 years old. Won the Teenage America the first time. Won the National the first time around. Won the IBB World Championship the first time around. I was humble at my first Olympic. I placed third, and my cowboy waxed my butt.
Slacker.
Yeah, slacker. But 8 Mr. Olympics in a row, that's impossible. That's impossible. To win it one time is impossible. So I know without a doubt with God's hand upon my life, as I told him I would use my gift to impact the world for good, that is what this whole thing is all about. Because every good and every perfect gift is from above, according to James, chapter 1, verse 17. I know how to do it.
He knows his stuff, man. So now he's also had the title of author. Fit at any age, exercise to stimulate and not annihilate. That was the first saying I ever remember that you came out with. That was just went across every gym. Stimulate, don't annihilate. Stimulate, don't annihilate. Those words spoke volumes. Bodybuilders that were coming up. Because bodybuilders apparently would always beat themselves on the ground. And you were preaching very early on. Look, that's not bodybuilding. Okay, that's body destroying.
Exactly. I saw a young man a few weeks ago. He was doing bent laterals. He had his neck jammed against the incline bench doing laterals. I looked and said, you know what? That's a nice way to snap your neck, young man, youngster. Oh man, he got all into some filthy up, so he didn't know where I was. He said,
That's even funnier.
You know what he said, sir? I wish you would have told me in private. I said, boy. All the other guys in the gym like, ooh. I said, look, young man, you need to get some knowledge. Learn how to, matter of fact, I was listening. This upcoming Saturday, March 9th, I have a workshop on training and nutrition where you get some knowledge. You don't do stupid stuff like turn yourself up. And when I say knowledge, I learned from everything that Arnold wrote, Franco Columbu wrote, Robert Robinson wrote. I am who they are. That's where I got the knowledge from. I didn't just pull something out of the sky. Like a lot of times athletes look at Facebook and YouTube and pull up some of these bushwhack gurus. We have the ones that creep on the USA, and all of a sudden they give you a program.
I think it's hilarious if this is at Sweden Gold, the young kids looking at, he don't know who you are. You know, he's got Google, but he can't get to it yet. But he doesn't know that you're an 8-time Olympic champion. You got shoes older than him. Yeah. Talk to me about your book. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm sure these people want to go buy one right now. They get the link.
Well, you know something, this book is being sold in Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Kobo. It's a book that talks about training to stimulate, not annihilate. You have to learn how to change gears. For instance, we talk about functional training, functional nutrition, age management, supplementation. We always want to think in the way of managing age when you're training at any age. Because if you don't, you can tear yourself up. So you got to know how to massage your training program. So at the end of the day, after your journey as an athlete, you still have your systems intact. For instance, when I trained in Holyfield, that was functional training. But it was functional to hit anaerobic threshold training for 3 minutes and recover for 1. And, okay, your pulse rate is hitting 200 beats. So that's crazy stuff. But that was his functionality for what he needed to do. So at this point in my life, it's about managing age, keeping my joints healthy, feeling good. And that should be a thought that all of us should take when it comes to training and nutrition. Be smart, because at the end of the day, you still want to be functioning well and healthy at the latter part of your journey.
You know what the key to staying married 36 years is? He was smart enough to mention his wife Shirley on the book.
Oh, yeah.
Still the president.
Still the president, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Haney. Ladies and gentlemen, He's never won the Olympia, but he's a hell of a guy. Arnold Simons? Give it to me. Can I get that? You guys want that? That a two-man? Very cool, thanks, Mike. That's a lovely part of this. All right, who we got back there? I can't see with the light. Oh, well, there's a guy who was literally on the stage just last night. Give it up for your Arnold Classic Champ 2019, Brandon Curry. Man, that jacket fits good, doesn't it?
Yeah, man, fits good.
Well, Brandon, 24 hours ago, you were right here with the governor. Right there with you, just giving you congrats and new Arnold Classic champion. How does it feel?
Man, it's to be honest, it hasn't fully hit me yet, but I appreciate all the love, guys. Appreciate all the support. Of course, with social media is going crazy. I got to catch up, but it's great, man. Great experience.
Well, I think this was absolutely the best Brandon Curry I've ever seen on stage. You went toe-to-toe with William Bonac, and he's tough. I mean, obviously he was the defending champion, so it wasn't going to be an easy battle. And head judge Steve Weinberger put you face to faces over and over and over, so you had to know it was close.
Yeah, I mean, I figured Steve was going to make us work. I knew coming into the show it was going to be a battle between me and William, of course. So, I did my homework and I presented the best packages. I thought I could take it down for this Arnold Classic.
So how did it feel? You get announced the champ, and then here comes Arnold. Well, here you are.
Well, it's not my first rodeo with that experience. Two other experiences, one in Brazil, one in Australia. So I was just happy to see him again, and he was definitely in good spirits, man. It was it's surreal, winning this title was definitely surreal. It's the big boy. So
I thought it was a pretty cool moment. We're actually going to recreate that moment right here, Brandon. So guess what we got here? Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger. Guys, Arnold, guys. Welcome to your own show.
especially when the mic works. And now it's working. Very nice.
We got everything covered here, nothing to worry about.
Absolutely.
So,
It's called the Arnold Classic, right?
Right.
Not the Arnold Failure.
now you've been doing this many years, and this year, with no exception to the rule, bigger and better. You can see where we're at capacity here. These people absolutely just love the Arnold weekend. It's spanned the globe now. You expand it to, this is the biggest sporting event in the world.
It's the biggest sports and fitness event in the world, without any doubt. And that was the biggest expo. We have sold 1,300 booths, and it's absolutely extraordinary. And all those companies that manufacture things that doesn't do with fitness, it is equipment, it is tanning stuff, clothing stuff, all food supplements. I mean, it's really amazing that everyone comes together here, and and I think it's just the greatest way of inspiring people. It's all part of the fitness crusade, because it's not just about us and about guys winning, the Arnold Classic and who's the most muscular man, but it's also about each of those 80 sports. We have 80 sports represented here, and that just came from ballroom dancing. Not that I was ballroom dancing, don't misunderstand. I could do the waltz.
You did some ballroom dancing.
That's right, yeah, entertainment, that's right, exactly. I can't, but I mean, this was really professional ballroom dancing that just came from, and it's really amazing. So we have all these different sports, 80 different sports that are all in one way or the other inspire people. And this is what we want to do, is inspire the world to go and exercise. That's why we took in all the different continents, all over the world, the Arnold Classic. And it's just, it's for me, just such a great honor and pleasure to produce this show and to see where we came from in 1976 when we had 5,000 spectators at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium at Mr. Olympia, and now we have 250,000 people coming through the 3 days of this convention, of this expo. So it's really extraordinary what it has grown into. And, you know, and then for me to sit here with all these great champions, I mean, we have, how many Mr. Olympias are all there together here? Probably 34. No, but there's like the two of them is 8, right? 8 Mr. Olympias. 27?
I got this.
Okay.
You got to tell him
Oh, yeah.
34. Hello.
34. Well, of course we come out as a separately. I mean, let's.
Well, there's
Come on now.
two that are 8 and 2 that are 7, so just add that, that's 30 right there, right? Just, I mean, no matter how I put it, and then of course we have, yeah, you have won, how many did you win? You won 4, so you have 34.
34.
So you have 34. So
Now,
there you have
how many bodybuilders?
So Franco comes out and
That's right. Now we got Franco there.
exactly. Well, he said, like you said last year, which was really interesting. He said to me, he said, there's 3 types of people in the world. Those that can count, those that can't. That was his line last year. So I don't want to say anything when you're counting, but you're a good moderator.
I got that going for me.
Exactly, absolutely. And we should not discount our classic winner 3 times, right? You won 3 times down on classic. So he's going to all the continents. Around all the continents and win all the Arnold classics. And then for that, there's a special prize for that, of course.
We may be adding another Olympia to that count for this guy this year. Because I tell you what,
Never know.
he's got a great chance of taking that. Who thinks Brandon Curry could be Mr. Olympia this year?
It's really interesting. I mean, when you watched him compete yesterday, bodybuilding is like in every sport. It's very hard to get the straight 10 the day of the competition. You know, you always, I mean, it's very rarely that you're exactly on the spot and then you hit that sweet spot. And that's what you did yesterday. You were like the only one that was out there that looked like 100% on for that hour. The body was hard as hell. It was muscular, you were lean, you had all the fluid was gone, everything was just right, perfect. And the posing, his confidence, his mental attitude, everything was right. And you just don't hit it that well all the time. I remember times when I was in the Mr. Universe contest and I said to myself, man, if I would have just trained harder, man, if I would have just gotten read a little bit more fluid and more water, if I would have just done a little bit more posing, but something, there's always something off, and sometimes you hit it just perfect. And so he yesterday hit it perfect, and I think that all of us went through that in a way you just feel like, and you know that, as you could see yesterday, everyone is so, in such fantastic shape, that if one is off by a little bit, you can be dropping down to 4th place, even though you could deserve to win that very same moment if you would have been on. So it's all about being on at that particular moment, because every one of those competitors was so fantastic yesterday. There was like 5, 6 of them that could have won if they would have been on. You know, so that's just the way it works.
Arnold, I asked Ronnie Coleman when he came out, which version of Ronnie would beat all the other versions? I'd like to ask you the same. Which version of Arnold, your 7 Olympian victories, if we put all 7 Arnolds on stage, who wins? What year?
Well, I think this is very hard to say, because my favorite was 1974. Because in 1974 I weighed 246 pounds, which in today's days is not much, but in those days there was, you know, Lou Ferrigno was heavier. He weighed around 260 or something like that year, but I mean, he was also taller. But I mean, I weighed 246, and I was really, I felt like full and pumped and everything like this. And the following year, in 1975, I did stay hungry in the middle. And so I had to go down, in order to get the job, I had to go down to 210 pounds. Otherwise, Bob Rafelson would not have hired me to play the part. because he was worried that I would look too enormous compared to Sally Fields, because Sally Fields only weighed 100 pounds. And Jeff Bridges weighed like 160 something. So he just felt like it would be better for my acting career and for the story if I'm down to 210, still look muscular. And so that's what I did. But then when we were finished shooting in beginning of July, it was not enough time to October, when there was the Mr. Olympia in South Africa, to gain that body weight back quality-wise in that short period of time. I would have needed for that another 2 months or 3 months to get up to 246. So I got up to 233, 234, something like that, on the day of the competition. And so I was lighter. I was ripped and everything like this, but I was lighter. So some people thought that was the perfect body. To me, I felt I was too light. I didn't feel comfortable in the competition. I felt I was good enough to win, but I didn't feel like this was my best year because I didn't have the time to recuperate. 247, yeah.
I tell you what, I mean, in all four noble physiques, Arnold, take me back to Lee Haney's 8th Olympia win. Now, obviously, he ties you in 7, a record that a lot of people think would never have been equaled. And here comes Lee in a row and puts 7. Now he's actually going to go to beat the record. You obviously find out that Lee wins the Olympia and gets that 8th sand. What were your feelings at that time? How did that strike you?
Well, you know, you have two feelings. One of them is you feel like, okay, someone has now broken the record. And the records are definitely broken, obviously, so I understand that. But still, inside of you, there's a part that says, shit. What the hell just happened here? And, you know, so it was one of those moments. But then there was, of course, also the moment of joy, because I have known Lee for all these years, and I have known the struggle that he went through year after year. And it is like really hard to stay on top of the game, you know, because you get injuries when you train that hard throughout the year. You cannot go too far away from your top shape throughout the year. So you do posing exhibitions to really stay with the program and all. And you know, I talked to him regularly, so I knew the direction he was going. And so I was very happy. The other side of me was that, the better side of me was that I was very happy for Lee, that he won the 8th Mr. Olympia. And I said, you know, it could easily be that he goes to 10, because there was no stopping him at that point. And, but then he retired. He felt like it was time for him to move on and all that stuff. And since then, he's been doing great, great work to inspire so many of the kids in his community and all this. And I'm very proud of him. He's one of those bodybuilders that has really used this platform of fame for something really good. So I'm very, very proud of you for your bodybuilding career and also what you've been doing since then. That's always a great thing when people can look at a bodybuilding champion or any champion as far as that goes after they finish with their career and they feel like, wow, it really bridged over smoothly into another area. If it is to be in the business, or to be giving back to the community, or to be a trainer and to inspire people to get healthy, to get fit, to get strong and muscular and all this stuff. So, you know, and I think this is, of course, I say this also because everyone up here sitting on stage, all of you are such great inspirations. I mean, the amount of people that come up to me in the gym and I say, Phil just won another Mr. Olympia, that's fantastic, you know, he's my idol and blah, 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 and all this stuff. So each one has, you know, their own idols, and this is what it's about. Because I remember, and I told the story many times, how Reg Park inspired me. And so that's why when I became Mr. Olympia and Mr. Universe, I said to myself, well, I'm here because of Reg Park. You know, and of course because of Joe Bida, because of so many Franco, Columbu, and so many other people that helped me. But really, Reg Park was the one that inspired me and made me feel like it is possible for a little farm boy that lives in a factory town in Austria, that it is possible to win and to emerge as a champion. Because he did it in Leeds. which was a factory town, and he just proved by working out 5 hours a day that he could become the British champion, the European champion, and then in 1951 he won Mr. Universe. And so, you know, I saw it possible. So he was my inspiration, and I saw him on the big screen playing Hercules, in the Hercules movie. So for me, it was like two things. He says, wow, if I get a body like that, I win Mr. Universe, and I maybe can get into movies. This is fantastic. So he was my ultimate inspiration. And so when I became Mr. Universe and Mr. Olympia, I said to myself, now it's not about me anymore. It's about the millions of people out there that I need to inspire. I need to become the Reg Partner, and I need to inspire other people to get involved in bodybuilding. That's why I love these stories so much, because he watched one time the competition in Columbus here, right? And so we can tell that story, because it's a really great story.
You know, I mentioned it a little bit earlier that I was here at the age of 20 years old, and I never will forget seeing you come down the aisle. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's Arnold. And I saw Franco win the Mr. Olympia title that year. I think it was 81. And man, here I am today. But let me share another story. You know, as Arnold is talking, I never will forget in 1983, having entered my first Mr. Olympia show, placed third. I hate losing. I don't like to lose. That won the NBC National the first time, the IFBB World Championship the first time around, win Olympia, well, Olympia the third time around. Man, I just don't like losing. You know, third place wasn't bad for a youngster. And I never will forget the after party at Albert Busak's gym. I'm sitting in the back eating early. I'm licking my wounds, feeling sorry for myself. And Shirley's consoling me as I'm sitting there with my head dropped. It wasn't that bad, guys, I'm kidding. And lo and behold, Arnold comes over. I'm 23 years old at the time. And he says to me, Lee, you look great on stage, you have a fantastic physique. He said, but you have to do something about that posing. You're on another level now. You can't pose like an amateur. So, when we get back to California, I'm going to introduce you to my posing coach. And Arnold made that gesture. And I made sure I had my butt there in his office to meet his posing coach. And I think, and I talk about that now, I think now that what Arnold was also doing was testing me to see if I had it here, to see if I had it here. Was I going to follow through and humbly accept the advice that he was giving me or the help? But I made sure I was there because he said, hey, Lee, once you get it down as far as your posing routine, you'll be Mr. Olympia. And I want to say thank you for that.
But I think this is the bottom line is that we got inspired by watching the Mr. Olympia competition here in Columbus, and there's so many others that get inspired to watch the Arnold Classic or to watch the Olympia in Vegas, and then they become later on Mr. Olympia. So this is the great thing about it. It's everything is to inspire others, and that's what this whole event is all about.
We've got to add another 2 Olympia victories onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Franco Columbu.
Franco Columbu.
Arnold, do you speak Franco?
I'm the only one that really understands him perfectly. It's a mishmash of German, Italian, and Sardinian. And every so often he throws Franco, he's very daring, because in the 70s people always said that Franco said, have you taken drugs? He says, no, but I experimented with English.
Okay. Sometimes, you know, people, Ralph Miller, sometimes Arnold and I talk about him and do our own little languages. But they call it, Bavarian, Munich. And Ralph is going like this. What are they saying? I speak German, you know. But anyway, you know, when you see these people here, they are not abnormal people, but they're very special. And you have to admit, they are real champions because you see it in the present. The first time I saw Lee winning the first Olympia, I stood there and I looked at him and I said, yeah, he looks very normal, poses well, he has all the muscles, he's a winner, and you were calm, relaxed. Normally bodybuilders are always like so hyper, you know, like, you know, you never know what to expect. But one interesting thing that the first time I was really impressed was in 1969 when Joe Vida used to instigate Arnold in Madison Square Garden. This was happening. And say, Arnold, they got this big guy. And Arnold, who is that guy? There was a guy there, Larry Coleman, you remember? He had like, he was a big guy, but he had 17 jackets. And I was spying on him. And he would take a jacket off and another jacket off. And then I say, Arnold, don't listen to Joe. And then I turned over and I see Sergio Oliva. He was so impressive to me because he had a shirt and he had a split here, like a V, and his tricep was humongous. He would come out like this. And I couldn't get my eyes off him. He looked so elegant. His waist was small. He was a weightlifter, the muscles like a rock. And it was very interesting. I want to make the story really short. He won, he beat Sergio, and then he didn't have a room to go to sleep. So we go back to a suite. Joe Vida had a suite there with Arnold and me, and across the street were the other bodybuilders. And Sergio knocks on the door. He knocks on the door. This is now, remember, after the Olympic. And then we go to sleep, who knows, 3 in the morning. And we got Joe Vida 3 in the morning asking Arnold, did you see Sergio's triceps? And Arnold says, yeah. And he came in and signed, you know. It's an hour ago. Anyway, we all go to sleep. At 7 in the morning, Sergio was in one of the rooms at the end of the suite. And the door was a little bit open and I heard a noise going like on a bed, going like that, you know, making this strange noise. I said, what's going on over there? We thought Sergio was with some girlfriend there. So I walk over really slow, opening the door, and he was doing triceps. He's still on top of the bed, on a chair, doing these tricep extensions. And I go back to Joe and say, he's doing triceps. He says, why? And I said to Arnold, he's doing triceps. He's pumping up his triceps. And he says, why? Oh, he's going to come out now with his triceps pumped. Arnold couldn't understand, but the show was yesterday, I already won, right? And these are like so incredible events with these people, you know, with these champions. They do one crazy thing after another. And in Gold's gym, when the first Gold gym started in Venice, it was all that things like that, like in Los Angeles, in Santa Monica, we had a smorgasbord restaurant. And, you know, I never knew the stuff. You go in there and he says, you can, you know, says, pile up your plate. You can fill up all you want. And I'm going in a couple of times and out. Bodybuilders will go in and out. Eddie Giuliani and all the guys, all eating. The manager wasn't too happy. One day I go in Cambola, there, and the guy can eat. He went like 6-7 times filling up a mountain of plate. And the manager comes, you cannot come back here. And the guy, but the law, there is no law that I cannot come back. And he says, I'll be here tomorrow morning. So, you know, some people are not well.
No, the stories. About the seminars, especially is when we get Franco and Arnold together. You guys have some legendary stories with the great Joe Weeder. And man, I tell you, you have lit up over the years with, you guys just used to mess with Joe so much. Arnold, give me one of your favorite Joe stories.
Well, one of my favorite stories I cannot really tell in front of these warriors because I don't know if there are kids in here or not. But I mean, but the bottom. Let's go to the second favorite story. The second favorite story is that Joe, all of a sudden out of nowhere, he was a history buff, and he started reading history things, and he listened to those history tapes while he was driving his Cadillac, and somehow he got into this whole thing about that he had to grow a mustache because one of his idol leaders from the past had a wonderful mustache coming around here. So but he didn't trim it. It was kind of like hanging over his lips. And so he always was complaining, oh God damn it, well, I don't know what's wrong. Every time I eat my food, it gets stuck here. And so Franco, he would be over at our apartment, and Franco would say, he says, I can fix this for you, Joe. And Joe says, what do you mean you can fix it for me? He says, I have a scissor. I do this all the time. I can fix it. And then Franco gets a scissor. Of course, the scissor is dull. It's not a sharp scissor to cut mustache here.
Because Arnold claims cut his toenails with it. His toenails, they're so hard they can't see from bodybuilding that the scissors will break.
It was the worst. And Joe sat there like and totally scared, that Franco is going to poke him with the scissor. And Franco kept saying to him, he said, Joe, you have to be very, very quiet now. Just relax. Because otherwise I stick you with the scissor. And so Joe was very scared, and like his lips was like this, doing all these funny things in the lips. And so Franco would cut in, and then he would hold the scissor, and Franco realizes that the scissor doesn't cut the hair. So it was now stuck here. So now Franco just pulled away, and Joe screamed out and said, ow, what's the matter with you, Italian bastard, eh? I'm telling you, Arnold, I bring the guy over from Sardinia, I built him up, and look at this crook, eh? Pulling my mustache, and he was like cursing and screaming, and then Franco says, stay still, Joe, there's one more hair that has to be fixed. Goes to the next one, and again Joe then pulls away himself, and then he screams again. So this was one of my favorite stories, because Joe is sitting there being tortured by Franco with his sister. But he was so deep into it, he couldn't get out of it now. He had to finish it at a straight line. And so Franco just literally pulled one hair after the next out of his mustache. But I mean, Joe always came back. I mean, he loved all of our humor and all that stuff. So he was just a very entertaining guy. And Joe had, of course, was a very complex kind of a guy, as you know, because he was kind of very, very generous, but he was also very cheap. And so it's like Sergio Liber, like Franco said, Sergio Liber got his airplane ticket to go to New York, but after he lost, he probably didn't get his airline ticket to go back to Chicago. Because his room was canceled too, just because he lost. He had no room. That's why he knocked on our door at 3 in the morning, and he was very shyly kind of outside saying, can I sleep in you guys' room? And we said, yeah, of course, come on in. And then he told us that his room was gone. He didn't have a room anymore. So first he stayed with us, and then Franco stayed in the third bedroom down the hall. And what Franco said was absolutely correct. I mean, the surgeon was doing his triceps extensions, and his triceps worked at 3 in the morning. I don't know what the hell he pumped up for, but I was worried about is there another competition in the morning or something like that. I said, why is he pumping up all night and I'm sleeping here? I think it's over. So we always had a great time, but Joe Weeder was very entertaining. Yeah.
We are training like in New York, they had Sono Hotel.
Henry Hudson Hotel.
Yes, it was Rick Wayne there and, Frank Zane. And we are training there, and I couldn't understand it. It's the first time I see Joe Vida in the gym. And Arnold was really training with him here and there. We are training there and would be, we are doing curls on the incline bench. And would be, we are only using 40s, maybe 40 pounds. I take 45, 40, doesn't matter. So Joe Vida, imagine he was a strong guy. He took the maximum weight, like 45s. We all did the curls, and then you go next, and you go next, and Joe Vida would run to the abdominal bar and the sit-ups, and I would walk over and say, good, good, good. And then he was trying to impress us. I don't have time for you slow guys. You know, he was like that. He loved it to train same weights, the deadlift, you know, the incline, the press, incline and press. And he did that. He was always impressed. I can do what they do. I can do more than you.
I can tell you that if you, in the old days, if you're smart and you wanted to be in top shape at the Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe, you always do a photo session with Joe Vida the day or two before. Because Joe had a way of inspiring you. It was unlike anything else. You were standing there and he says, okay, let's do an ab shot. And you were standing there and he says, come on now, cough, cough. Okay, more, I need to see more coming out. Come on, cough, exhale, more. And he would just drive you until you flex so much. But for so many hours, because a photo session would last like 4 hours, he would be so exhausted after this photo session. And this is why I always say to bodybuilders, practice posing. Because to hold the pose, like for a photo session, it is the most difficult thing that you can imagine. Much more difficult than lifting any of the heavy of the weights. I would be standing there and do a double bicep back pose. And Joe says, I don't see the striation in the lower back. You got to cough. His belief was that if you cough, then you flex the abdominal muscles, and that will flex the lower back. And so he would just say, cough, cough, no, give me more flex, come on up, give me the calves are loosening up. No, the leg bicep, flex the leg bicep. You would be hanging there, and you would be shaking. But it was the best, because it didn't matter if you were shaking in front of Joe Vida or in front of the camera, but where you don't want it to shake is in front of the judges. That's where you don't want to shake, because as soon as you start going like this, shaking a little bit, it looks amateurish, and it looks like a Mr. Olympia should not be shaking, period. Someone that is competing in a Mr. Olympia is so high up in the level, should not be shaking. So that's why Franco and I, we always went to Joe and said, Joe, let's take some pictures before the Olympia. And we got together, and it was a grind. I mean, we would meet at 11 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. We were standing there flexing and flexing and flexing and sweating, and you really sweat out all this extra stuff. And so then the next day, you really felt like, wow, I'm so sharp now, I'm so together, and I have practiced my posing and holding the posing. Can you imagine you stand there speaking with a back pose like this, which is so difficult to do, to suck in your stomach, to get the leg out there, to make the waist look small, and to twist, and he would say, twist more, come on up, the upper arm, higher up, making sure to have it high up, now pull back the wrist, and off the stuff, and you'll be hanging there, and you're cramping up, and then you go, you can loosen up again. But it's all the day before the competition. So when the competition comes around the next day, you feel so good about yourself, how much you flex and how you have your posing together. So that was always the smartest thing you can do, is a photo session with Joe Vida for his magazine a day before the Olympics.
And things come out at that point. Your weak points came out too. Like, for example, we took pictures. I thought I looked like a monster. You know, that Della and Jim Caruso and all these photographers. And then suddenly pictures show up in Joe Vida's building in the office. We go there a few days later. And he would take my pictures and we'll look at it, 8x10s, and we'll throw him like this. We'll say, okay, looks good. His legs, look at his legs. Why doesn't he flex his legs? Why doesn't he get definition on his leg? Why doesn't he get his legs correct? And when I went to the Olympia, all I could think of that, and look next to me, Tom Platz. thinking of Joe Vida telling me how bad my legs are. And I'm looking at Tom Platz, and I said, I need to correct this. And when I had my knee injury, for example, the leg was also behind it. And I had to stand there and find out where to get my good leg in front, look at Tom Platz, I hope he's not right. And don't even see Joe Vida down there, but thinking up here. You say, oh, how do I do the leg? It's really an experience.
Arnold, with the strong, I can't help but think as Franco is here with us. The strongman is such an integral part of the Arnold weekend. And they recreated your co-main of Wheel of Pain, which I thought was the coolest thing I've ever seen in this world. And then we almost took out the front 3 rows at Boulder last night. For those that were here, they had a little problem with one of the guys dropping a 400-pound rock and it rolled off the stage down into the front, which also I thought was pretty cool. But how cool is it that Franco, your good buddy, actually competed in the world's strongest man? I mean, look at the different. Thor Bjornsson, who won, was 7 feet tall and 400 and something pounds. Franco was competing with the world's strongest men back in the day.
Well, you know, to me, I think it was a natural for Franco to compete in the competition because Franco is, you know, subhuman. He's not normal. Because, I mean, when I met him, I remember in 1965 in Stuttgart, in Germany, at the Mr. Europe competition, Best Built Man of Europe competition. They also had the European Championship in powerlifting, and there were 2 categories, heavyweight and lightweight. And Franco won the lightweight division, hands down. And I watched him powerlift and did the squats. There was this little guy. He was skinny at that time. He was not that huge or muscular or anything like this. When you look at the old photographs, you can't even believe it. And so Franco would be competing there and he would just outlift everybody. And so then when I decided that I'm going to move after my military service to Munich in 1966, the year later, I said to Franco right then and there at the competition, when we met in 1965, I said, we should train together. Because I always admired strength, and I always wanted to be one of those bodybuilders that also can win a powerlifting competition. And so when I went to Munich, we trained together. And I started winning powerlifting competitions in Germany and in Austria, and it was really amazing. And then I taught Franco bodybuilding, because Franco always said to me, he says, I would like to be Mr. Universe. And I said to him, I want to be one of the strong guys. He says, so can you work with me with my deadlift and all the bench press and squats and all those things. And so we trained together, we were training partners. That's how we became training partners. And that's why when I then moved to America, the one that I missed the most was Franco. I mean, I said, listen, I can't train here the right way. I got to get him over. So I had to convince Joe Vida that yes, he's a short guy, and yes, he's not as imposing of a figure, but he will, you know, bring over a lot of substance. So why don't you bring him over from Germany? And Franco was living in Germany, in Munich, and so 9 months later, Franco arrived over here. We convinced Joe. You know, he was confused with the names. He called him Francesco Franco, and then he got all kinds of different names. He forgot always Franco's name, and they showed him all his photographs. But then when Franco came over, he was very happy, Joe, that he brought Franco over. So for Franco, then when he was over here in America, and he started competing in bodybuilding and winning Mr. Universe orders, his strength continued going up. And I mean, I remember watching him with 175 pounds, doing 3 reps with 730 pounds in the deadlift. I mean, think about that. I mean, I couldn't even lift in 1 rep. And so here was this guy lifting in 3 reps. And so the same was in the bench press. It was in 3 reps with 500 and 3 reps with 600 in the squats. And it was just unbelievable weights that he was lifting, in lateral raises with 85s and 90 pounds. And I heard the only other person that ever did that was Marvin Eder, that was like a smaller guy, but he was just enormously strong from New York. And so Franco was just casually doing his lateral, perfect movement with the kicking the back up like that for his rear deltoid with 85 and 90 pounds. And I remember this guy, Steve Maginian, who was one of the strong guys in Gold's gym. He always goes up to 350 pounds behind the neck press on the bench, very strict. So Franco would sit down and work in with him, and Franco was doing 8 reps with 350 pounds behind the neck press. I mean, it's an unbelievable weight. So when they came up with this idea to have the world's strongest man competition, in fact, for instance, one of the lifts was a refrigerator, to carry a refrigerator. And there was all kinds of, and there was bicycle riding and all kinds of other things. That, I said, Franco is going to have no problem there whatsoever. And sadly, Franco then injured his knee that year, because otherwise I think he would have been in the top 3 or maybe he would have won. I have no idea. But I mean, there was a hole in the ground, and Franco stepped into that hole with a 600-pound refrigerator on his back, and then twisted his ankle and injured his knee, and ripped his knee apart. But so it was I just always thought that there was no one around at this weight category that could beat Franco.
Arnold, give it up for Franco. Half the size of the other guys. I thought there was no categories of the world's strongest men. It was just the world's strongest
No,
men.
absolutely. But the reason why I said, it's kind of like subhuman, because when we were down on Venice Beach, I used to do, chin-ups there on this chin-up bar. And then Franco said we should do some abs also. And I said, there is no abdominal bench here. Because it was kind of just a few pieces of equipment in those days in 1968, 69. And so Franco says, no, this is how you do it. And he would just hook in with his toes on the chin-up bar, but with no shoes on. And he would just, imagine the pain to have your body weight hanging on your toes on the chin-up bar like this, and then he would do sit-ups like this, doing 30 rep sit-ups, hanging upside down like that. So only a monkey can do that, right? So this is why I said, Franco, you're not human. If there's something off, I gotta go to Sardinia and study this culture a little bit here, where it came from originally, and what was the kind of the mixture and stuff like that. Because it was totally abnormal, the kind of things that Franco would do, bounce in his stomach through the gym on the dirty floor, he would come in and he would do crazy things like that.
Arnold, Phil Heath tied your record just 2 years ago at 7 Olympiad titles, went for number 8 this past year, and unfortunately just came up short. What advices would you give Phil for this year? Come back, try to claim the title, give it up after 7?
Well, no, I mean, everyone feels different about this. I think that if Phil feels that he's at the height of his career, and if he feels like there's another year or another 2 years in him, I definitely would come back with vengeance. Because I mean, I've watched Phil over the years, and there's no one that can touch him when he's on. And I have to say that this is what I was talking about earlier. It was not you, I think there was something, like I said, it's almost impossible to hit that mark every single time. And so I wouldn't even be too hard on yourself. It's just one of those things. I mean, that's, as I said, the guys are so close to in shape. They're such champions. There's so many champions in the Olympia that when you lose, it just means that you were off a little bit. And Phil was off a little bit, I thought. And so someone else took the opportunity and took the title. And so what you do is you say, okay, you analyze what was it, and what did it do different. You analyze it, and then you go there and you train like hell for this competition, and you pose like hell. And even if it takes 2 hours of posing a day, it makes no difference. And if it's 1 hour of practicing the vacuum every day in every conceivable position, that is what I would do. And I would make sure that the record is clear there, so that you can go on stage and I said, Nasca said, I'll be back. And I'm back.
do that to you. Arnold's gotta go.
Can you believe that? I mean, I love this when the handlers come and tap you in the shoulder and say it's lunchtime. Machines don't eat, you idiots. No, but anyway, so Phil, yeah, I will go all out. I know that you have your own thoughts. Whatever you decide, it makes a difference because it only makes a difference to you because we all know that you've won so many times and that you're a true inspiration to all of us, to me and to millions and millions of others out there. So that I know for sure. So I mean, this is only for your personal thing, you know. This is, you know, that's why I say if I would be you because that's the way I am. I gotta go back and clean house, right? This is just so you can walk away from this for the rest of your life and say, I did it, you know, and no one can shit all over me. It's not gonna happen, you know? So this is, you know, it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. And so I hope that you, but I would recommend, of course, that he goes to one of the Arnold's classics first for warm up. You think, right? Yeah, I think so. You think so, guys? Win the competition, because that's how I won the Olympia. I won here in Columbus, Ohio against Sergio Liver. It was a neutral competition. It was organized by the AAU. I had nothing to do with the AAU and with the World Weightlifting Federation. Nothing. So I came to the stage, posed, Sergio Liver was there, and he posed, Dave Draper, all those guys competed. Franco competed, and then Franco won his weight category and I won mine. And then I won the overall title, and that gave me the momentum then to beat Sergio in the Mr. Olympia 14 days later. So this was kind of a rhythm thing. And first I beat Reg Park in London at the Mr. Universe contest in 1970. A day later I came here, won against Sergio Liver, and then 14 days later went. So it's about a rhythm thing. So we of course would love to have you because you're such a great asset and you know, there's such a huge fan base, so we always would love to have any of the Mr. Olympia guys come and compete in the Arnold Classic. But I think that's for selfish reasons, but for yourself, also I think there's something there to be said to just compete, you know, if it's the European one in the fall, whatever it is, and to just get the rhythm going, clean house, and then just come in as in Mr. Olympia, you know, 2 weeks later. Which is usually in October or so, right? Or end of September, whenever it is in Vegas.
Ronnie's saying that he's one of the few that actually won the Arnold and the Olympia in the same year. It's not easy to do. It's certainly a road. But if anybody could do it, I'm sure it's Phil.
But I mean, let's be honest, what is easy to do? I mean, to win the Mr. Olympia is not easy. To win the Arnold Classic is not easy. To be the top in the world in anything is not easy. So you're absolutely correct. It's not easy. But I don't think that's why we are doing this stuff, to do something that's easy now. We would be just working somewhere in the post office if we wanted to say
I think one of the things that we're all here talking about is that we're saying like winning these shows is like impossible, but then you break that down and then you repeat it and you tell yourself that I am possible. I am possible. I will do the work, and I think that's what I'm processing at this moment, just being around all these amazing athletes, all these amazing legends. I have posters of every one of them, including you, and I still have you, because I was there when you turned pro. I watched Brandon in his hotel room getting ready for the Nationals. So I've been a fan of everybody. But as far as me, coming back, I used to talk about Chick about this briefly and said, think about even the Arnold Classic. I enjoyed my time in Columbus. Never won that one. Did the one in Spain. Enjoyed that very much. Think about it. Yeah. But
Is it the squeaking in the hotel room at 3 a.m.?
no, that was the long ponytail, that guy. That was some good times at that show. But overall, I mean, I'm just, absorbing all of this positive energy, and then also with the fans. I think it's necessary for me to even reflect and to think, gosh, man, 7 years is a long time. It's a long time and a lot of work. And it's definitely enabled me to kind of take a step back and go back in the gym. I've been in the gym, this will be week number 5 since my surgery of October of last year. And, we've all been injured in some way. Everybody up here. We've all been injured in some way, whether we share it on social media or not. Some is more prevalent, than others. But I can say that, if you follow me on social media, I've been posting a lot of cool things, and one of the DVDs that I was posting up was of this man right here, Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Comeback. So who knows? I'm just really excited to be healthy and back in the gym, and I do have that fire. I just want everybody to know it has not left. It doesn't leave. It will never leave.
You got a very tight schedule. You got to get going. Machines don't eat. You got to watch everybody else eat. So I assume that we will see you back here, sir.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, this is really terrific. I'm so happy that we have a packed house here today, and it's only because this is really the actions. I mean, if you have any questions, I think you're doing such a great job and talk about the things that the audience likes to hear. You really drill down on the various different subjects. So we are very proud of you to have you as part of this whole thing, because you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't know how to communicate it, you have nothing. And so I think the way we communicate about bodybuilding, the way we inspire other people, I think is absolutely the most important thing. And this is why we make this into a fitness festival, because we want this bodybuilding be the center of it, and then everything else happens from there. That just came from a pump and run competition that opened up at the start. And the ballroom dancing, like I said, and there's the world's strongest man competition, arm wrestling championships, powerlifting, weightlifting, women's weightlifting. I mean, we have everything here. And the most important thing to us is children. Because we have a pavilion, the fairgrounds over there, where the pavilions are, where all the children are competing. Because the children, this is the future. And everything that I always say kids are the best investment. And so we want to invest in our kids, and we want to groom those kids to grow up and to be great athletes and to be participating. So this is what it's all about. So I promise you, I'll be back. Thank you. One of the guys that get a lot of credit is Steve Blackman from Muscular Development. I mean, those guys have done an extraordinary job for years and years and years to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote strength, to promote bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, and all of those kind of things. So the contributions they made is gigantic, and I hail them for that.